What is going on, guys, and welcome to a brand new video. Today we're going to be breaking down Dota 2 beginner heroes. So this is going to be a video which has been highly requested on the channel, and it's a video I've been wanting to do for a really long time. So I'm going to be showcasing different heroes that you guys can play for beginner players who are trying to learn how to play the game and want to play some easy heroes from all the different positions in the game. So we're going to be doing mid lane first. So you guys should be picking a hero like Sniper, as Sniper is a very easy hero to play. His spells are quite easy to cast. Shrapnel is a very good ability, especially in the lane. Can definitely push heroes out of position and slow them to the point where you're getting a bunch of headshot procs, which is your passive, and it does a lot of damage over time. And Sniper has the longest range in Dota 2, and it's a very easy hero to get a lot of value from, especially the lower MMR you are, the more this hero definitely dominates the high ground and also dominates team fights where they have no vision to detect for you and they have no blink daggers or anything like that for them to catch you and be able to obliterate you, because this hero does a lot of damage, but he's also extremely squishy. But it's a very good option for newer players to start off playing this hero, as it's very easy to play and very user friendly. So definitely a big recommendation there. Another hero I'd like to showcase is going to be Lina. Lina is a very easy hero to play. Her stun can be a little bit difficult to play around, but that's honestly not the most important part of her kit. It's the fact that she does extreme magical bursts, especially with the Aghanim Scepter build. She does a hell of a lot of damage. She can be built into a right click core as well, so it honestly depends what your team needs, but it's an overall very easy hero. The builds are pretty straightforward. There's nothing really too complicated about this hero, and it just does a lot of damage. Very easy value for you guys to be playing this hero, and it's a lane dominator. It loses very few lanes in the mid lane. The mid to late game is a different story. It doesn't scale as hard as before with the right click build, but the magical build still does a really good job to get the job done in the team fights, and you're able to burst people with Laguna Blade, as is still one of the best abilities in the game for bursting people down. And once you get the talent that it turns to pure, it does a heck of a lot of damage. The next hero we're going to be taking a look at is going to be Earthshaker. Earthshaker is actually a very easy hero to be playing on the mid lane. He's also super meta, so he's very strong. His laning is very good, especially against melee matchups. Against some range heroes like Viper, Huskar, you definitely suffer quite a lot, but this hero team fights like no other hero in Dota. Echo Slam is still one of the best abilities in Dota, an ability that hasn't been changed that much throughout the years. It's always going to be really good, and the lower MMR you are, the chances are people are going to be clustering together and you're going to be able to get big Echo Slams and get a shit ton of value from this hero. This hero is absolutely incredible. One of the funnest mid lane heroes. The skill ceiling is definitely very high, but the initial start of getting value from this hero is definitely very low, as Enchant Totem will help you secure CS and be able to get easy denies. It's going to help you blow up supports quite easily, so definitely give this hero a try and play him. His item build is actually pretty straightforward. He builds a lot of easy items to play, like Blink Dagger, Aghanim Scepter, and Silver Edge, which are pretty common items, especially in low MMR. Everybody knows what Silver Edge does because they build it all the time. Now for the offlaners, we're going to be taking a look at Axe. Axe is one of the best offlaners in Dota, in my opinion. He has always been very good, very stable offlaner. Sure, there's a lot of heroes that could definitely make him suffer in the laning phase, but overall his laning phase has been pretty sturdy the last couple of patches. He's been pretty strong, and there's always that possibility of your support actually going for stacks, and you're able to take those ancient stacks and get yourself a Blink Dagger and a Blade Mail at a really fast timing. You just have to keep in mind that Axe's job is to lock people down and get that big Calling Blade, especially against physical lineups. You're able to scale super hard with that armor, and eventually they won't even be able to do absolutely any damage to you physically, because you're going to have so many armor stacks in the ultra late game. And this hero alone could literally turn fights on his own. And if you play with heroes like Grimstroke, they have very good synergy, and you're going to be able to stun people forever and be able to get a bunch of kills and use their damage against you, because you're calling them, you're forcing them to fight you, and you have Blade Mail. Always going to be a very strong hero in any meta pretty much, and it's just a very sturdy offlaner for you guys to dig your hands into, and very fun to play. When you get a big Axe call and you get a bunch of dunks, it's one of the most satisfying feelings in Dota, in my opinion. He's definitely my favorite offlaner by far. The next one we're going to be taking a look at is Bristleback. Now this is a hero that is very user friendly, very easy to play, currently extremely strong in the current meta with his Aghanim Scepter build. This hero is just very brain dead to play, very simple. You spam quills in the lane, you get yourself a Vanguard, you get yourself some mana regen with a Soul Ring or a stick if you can get some value out of it, eventually turn it into a wand, and it's going to be really difficult for the enemy team to kick you out of lane. You can easily take stacks as well. This hero is just overall a mighty tank, and that is one of the reasons why in lower MMR this hero is picked especially. Now he's in the current meta, so everybody's picking him, but back in the day, this was just your main go-to tank. If you wanted to just be there and soak a bunch of damage and not really do too much, that was pretty much the people that would like to pick Bristleback. But now he could do the damage and still be this big frontline tank with the Bloodstone build. It's going to be very, very nice. Definitely let me know in the comment section below if you guys have played Bristleback. Definitely a very easy hero to pick up and very solid in the current meta. The next hero we're going to be taking a look at is Wraith King, and this is actually a hero that's been popping up in the meta recently as the offlaner. Typically, Wraith King is a carry hero. Nowadays, he's mainly being played from the offlane. His Aghanim Scepter is absolutely incredible. A lot of people tend to feel like it's not that great. I definitely feel like it's a super big value, especially in very long team fights, as it tends to happen in lower MMR. You have really, really long team fights with a bunch of buybacks, and if everybody's able to get that extra life from reincarnation, it's always going to be really nice, because even if you lose the fight, you're able to get a bunch of kills because of the Wraith King Aghanim Scepter, and it's a very good hero to play because you can't get punished as easily. You always have that second free life when your ultimate is not on cooldown, but as long as you have it, you're going to have that extra life. It's going to be very, very nice, especially if you're a player who's learning how to position better. It's going to teach you a lot because you're going to understand that you can get punished very heavily, and it's not actually going to punish you that hard because you have that extra life, but it just kind of gives you that security cushion for you to be able to play a hero like that. And you can always build it like a carry. If you want to grief your carry, you can always do that as well. It could definitely work in the right lineups. You can build them in the carry style, but honestly, a very solid hero for you guys to pick up. Definitely very strong in the current meta as well, and I highly recommend building the Aghanim Scepter with Blade Mail. It's very, very strong. It makes you a very beefy tank, and eventually, if you get a refresher, you are pretty much immortal. With an Octarine core, like, your ultimate comes off cooldown so quickly. It's honestly fantastic. A lot of people definitely underestimate a hero like Wraith King. Definitely very solid, especially for beginner players. The next hero we're going to be taking a look at is going to be from the carry position. It's going to be Chaos Knight. Chaos Knight, again, another hero that is very, very popular in the current meta and also very easy to play. You have a stun, you have illusions, you have a crit that also gives you a ton of lifesteal, and you have a pull, which is one of the best abilities CK has. CK can just pull you, stun you, and absolutely obliterate you, and it's a strength hero, so you are super, super tanky. You dish out a lot of damage. He isn't the strongest farmer out there. He's definitely on the medium to slower side. This hero is always been pretty stable. It used to be played a lot from the offlane, but nowadays he is back into the carry meta and definitely pulling out very, very solid damage numbers, and overall going to feel very good when you have a CK on your team. If he's not heavily countered, it's always going to feel good as he's super hard to bring down and definitely dishes a lot of damage and quite easy to play, as it doesn't take much skill to play this hero consistently. So it's definitely very, very good for those beginner carry players. Definitely a nice hero to be picking up for your hero pool. The next hero we're going to be taking a look at is going to be Sven, another very easy hero who has Warcry, which gives you a bunch of armor. It's going to give you some movement speed as well. You have Stormhammer, which is one of the best stuns in the game. It's super, super strong. It does a lot of damage. You have God Strength, which gives you a lot of damage, which is very good for farming, also insanely good for team fighting if you guys are lacking the damage. And once you get items like Daedalus, you're going to be obliterating the backline. And the most important thing is you basically free farm with a Battle Fury because this hero has built-in cleave. It's definitely very, very strong when you have a hero with cleave. That will make you farm very, very easily. You're going to be able to max that out first on. You're going to be able to get a lot of net worth quite quickly. Even if your farming patterns are very bad, you're still going to be able to clean up the wave very quickly. You're going to be able to kill the side camps very quickly, which is going to make you an overall better carry player, especially if you're new to the position and you always struggle with farm and farming patterns. You feel like you're always farming slow. Sven is one of those heroes that's definitely going to make your farm a lot better, and it's going to help you learn about these certain patterns that you have to follow to be a carry player so you can get the most optimal farm for the time you're spending. The next hero we're going to be taking a look at is Phantom Assassin. Now, Phantom Assassin can definitely be a little bit tricky to play, as there's a lot of outplays you can do with her blink. Overall, she's a very simple hero to actually play. You have your dagger, you have your blink, and then you have blur, which is very nice because you're able to farm ancients without them hitting you. And you typically go for items like Battle Fury, BKB, and Desolator, which are very nice items for you to absolutely obliterate people in the team fights. This hero does a heck of a lot of damage. It's currently very, very strong in the meta. A very, very good hero for you guys to have in your lineup and in your hero pool overall. because it's not very difficult to play and get a lot of value. If you get very lucky with your crits, you're going to be able to blow even the tankiest heroes in Dota within a few clicks. And eventually, if you get a Divine Rapier, there's practically no hero in Dota that can actually survive your burst. You just need to get your farm high and definitely not join as many fights, get your farm going, and you're going to be able to get a lot of value from Phantom Assassin. She is definitely a very strong hero in the meta, and definitely a very user-friendly hero for you guys to be able to pick up, and it doesn't take much skill to play this hero and to learn how to play it properly. Then you could kind of go for the nifty outplays and such with Blur, and you're going to be able to blink away from bad situations and blink away from chronos and such. You're going to pick that up with time, so definitely don't worry. It's definitely a very easy hero for you guys to pick up. Now for supports, we're going to be looking at Treant Protector. This is honestly my favorite support in Dota. Very, very strong hero. Very hard to counter in the lane, as this hero provides a lot of healing, a lot of slow and damage. With his Q, he's going to be doing a lot of work, and his ultimate is very, very nice, especially if they don't have a dispel for it. They're going to end up buying dispels in the late game just for your ultimate alone, which is very high value. And there's still a lot of heroes that don't like to build items like Manta Style or Lotus Orb. They don't want to build these dispel items just to deal with a position 5 or a position 4 ultimate. But this hero provides a lot of team fight, could definitely just push towers while he has his shard, which makes him invis, which a lot of players who get into the game definitely enjoy playing invis heroes, which they feel a lot safer playing around the map. Treant Protector is one of those heroes. Once you get your Aghanim shard, you're able to run around the map with a meteor hammer. You're able to take a lot of towers, and you're able to split push a lot. And since you're the position 5, you are important, but sometimes your team doesn't really need you, and you're able to get a lot more out of the map by split pushing on your own, as it's quite safe. And if you die, you can definitely still get a lot of value as you're just a support. It would be much worse if your carry died split pushing, or if your mid laner died or off laner. But you being the support, you can definitely sacrifice yourself for some towers. The next hero we're going to be taking a look at is a fan favorite, especially the lower MMR you go, the more it becomes a fan favorite. It's Witch Doctor. Witch Doctor is really, really easy to do. You cast them and then you maledict, and you're going to do a shit ton of damage. This hero surprises me every single time with how much damage it does. The more HP you have, the more chances you have of actually dying, which is actually really, really funny when you see a super tanky Centaur or Pudge or any of these strength heroes, and you see them just get absolutely bursted by a position 5 Witch Doctor. And his ultimate is no joke. Eventually you will have an Aghanim Scepter in the late game. That Aghanim Scepter has been nerfed a little bit, but it's still insanely strong. You're a position 5, or you can play him from position 4 if you feel like being a little bit more aggressive. It's super, super strong. It can definitely turn team fights just on his own. You have the healing aspect as well, but Malediction is just one of these abilities that has always stood the test of time and has always been one of the best burst abilities in Dota. So definitely a very easy hero to pick up. A very good lane dominator as well. If there's no heroes that can easily jump on him and obliterate him, he's always going to have a really good time. Then you have Switcheroo, which is your shard, and you're able to become invulnerable for a few seconds. And if you build items like Glimmer Cape, you're always going to be very, very difficult to kill and very pesky, and you're going to get a lot of damage in the team fights. The next hero we're going to be taking a look at is going to be Warlock. Warlock is another meta support hero, which is super, super strong because his ultimate provides so much damage, control, and stun. It is a mini stun, but it's still very, very nice to have. And then you have one of the best slows in the game in Upheaval. Upheaval is absolutely super, super strong. That ability definitely slows you down to the crawl. The more time you spend channeling that ability, the longer it's going to slow you for, and it can go up to 100%, I believe. It's absolutely insane. In a late game team fight when BKBs are down, that could definitely make a really big difference. When you have a Warlock with a Glimmer Cape just invis and you have absolutely no idea where he is, it becomes a very pesky spell. Provides a ton of value for the team, as it has a heal, which isn't as good as it used to be before, but it's still a heal. It's still nice to have. And then you have Fatal Bonds, which is always very, very good because you're going to be able to click heroes down and they're all going to take damage through the links. Very, very nice support hero to play from the position 5, especially. Not much as a position 4, but overall a very nice pickup for your team. Definitely let me know in the comment section below, what do you guys think about this video, if you guys enjoyed, and if you guys learned a thing or two about beginner heroes. If you guys are beginners, these are definitely my recommendations for the easiest heroes for you guys to pick up when you start playing Dota. I hope you guys learned a thing or two, and I hope you guys grind some MMR and learn with these heroes until you're able to master the game a little bit more, and you're able to get a lot more creative and be able to play much more difficult heroes like the Spirits, Meepo, and Invoker, which definitely take a lot of skill, and newer players should not be playing those heroes if they definitely don't want to lose a lot of MMR. But if you're a high skill player coming from a game like League of Legends and you definitely understand game mechanics, you can definitely go for heroes like Invoker, Meepo, and such, but I definitely don't recommend it. If you're a new player to Dota, you should be playing very easy heroes, so you start start understanding the game concepts rather than the hero, and then you can really start focusing on the heroes and start to master them slowly. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. A like would be much appreciated. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.